Alright everybody, welcome back to round 4 coverage now. Our fourth round out of 6 today at our Theros Prerelease at Lost Legion Games here in South Charleston, West Virginia. My name, as always, is Zachary Evans, and it's just me for right now as everybody else is out there battling with new Theros cards. We're already into the action here. On the right, it's stream regular Yen-shyang. We see him playing a black-white deck. He did open a black pool. He's going to go ahead and cycle a Traveler's Amulet and go get a Swamp. His opponent, Jeremy Bayless, one of our stronger limited players, he opened a red pool, and he's playing, I believe, mono-red, but I could be mistaken. Looks like he started off with a Croson. I cannot remember the name of this guy for whatever reason, but he's the heroic guy that makes another dude. A Croson Crusader makes a 1/1 red token if you trigger his heroic. So no follow-up there. And Yen is going to slam a creature, which ultimately is irrelevant because Jeremy's going to ping it with a Magma Jet. Oh, Jeremy's playing some green cards. So it looks like a pretty traditional Gruul aggro deck. So there's a card that's going to trigger heroic, so Jeremy's going to get a 1/1 creature with haste. And I'm going to desperately pour over the spoiler to try and figure out what that spell is. It is not the Ordeal. So if you beat me to it there in the chat, feel free to let me know. And there is the 2/4 Minotaur out of Yen that's going to mill target player 4 cards. He's going to choose Jeremy. We did see that earlier in the night, or early in the afternoon, I should say, as Joseph Deal got a lot of value off of it with his Whip of Erebos. And that is a Feral Invocation. It's a 2/2 enchantment with flash. So that's now a 4/3 Croson Crusader. And again, Matthias in the chat, very well up to date on all these cards as he's beaten me to it most of the time. So I appreciate the help there. And there we see, again, I don't know the name of the card, but it is a bestow creature. It's going to give his Crusader 2/2, +2/+2 in reach. So that's now a 6/5, a Croson Crusader, and he has 2 1/1 tokens. So Jeremy all in on this guy. There is not a ton of removal. I guess the only targeted removal that will really solve this problem at this point. There is the 6-cost exile creature card. There is Righteous Blow, I believe. There is Yen trolling me because he knows I hate those Cup Islands. My least favorite card in the history of Magic. It looks like he's playing Esper. So really pushing the abilities of the mana base here. There's not a tremendous amount of fixing in this set. But again, not a lot of cards available other than maybe Hero's Fall, Hero's Downfall, that can deal with this massive Croson Crusader. Plus, Jeremy's continuing to grind out advantage with creature enchantments, making 1/1 tokens. Question in the chat, why are the life totals different? Well, the life totals are different because I forgot to update mine. So there we see the Dark Ritual Satyr, for lack of a better term. Jeremy can sack that in future turns and generate a lot of red mana if he wants to. But the Erebos' emissary holding back the team here. Not wanting to attack in and possibly have Yen discard 2 creatures and get blown out. Yen's going to go ahead and cast a spell, lets him get 2 creature cards back to his hand. Try and refill and grind out this game as best he can. So Jeremy has the 2/1 Satyr Hedonist. It's going to sack it for 3 red mana. So he's got 5 red in his pool, 6 now with the green. And he's going to bestow some giant thing. I believe that is the 2/2 First Strike enchantment. So we've got 3+2/2 enchantments on this 2/1 Acrosin Crusader. So it is now an 8/7 First Striker with reach. And Yen's just going to jump it out. No discarding creatures. He would need to discard what at that point? 3, 7. He had to discard 2 creatures in order to get there. So you're witnessing the largest, the largest number of creature enchantments I've ever seen on a creature that wasn't in a Bant Hexproof deck in Standard. And there we go. Now we find a removal spell that will finally get rid of the Crusader, but the 2 bestowed enchantments will come back as creatures. So a 2/2 First Striker and a 2/2 with reach. Yen tapped out for just 1 black mana, facing down 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 power of attackers. And Jeremy's loading up a pre-combat. He's going to enchant his land just to cycle. And Jeremy just piles in with the 7 power of guys. So Yen untap's got plenty of mana, got a decent grip, but just has not been able to mount much of a fight here. Don't know if it's a limitation of his mana base or just relatively poor draws off the top. I did have time to look it up. That was Sip of Hemlock that took out the Crusader. Destroy target creature unconditionally. Its controller loses 2 life. So that's what puts Jeremy down to 18. Yen with the pump fake. Now here it comes. He's going to cast the 2/4 Minotaur and mill Jeremy 4 cards. And then with his other mana, he's going to play another Vanilla Minotaur, I believe. Oh, that's not true at all. It's a Magus' Marauder, which is a 2/2 that can give haste and intimidate, but at this point, all of Yen's creatures are playing in defense. So Jeremy untaps with the same 7 power of attackers he had on board last time, but facing down now at least somewhat profitable blocks on the Yen side of the board. There is a Nemesis of Mortals cast for just 2 green. And next turn it's going to go monstrous. And there is another heroic creature. Damnation not in this set, so I think Yen might be done with this one. That one is a Labyrinth Champion, a 2/2 that shocks something when it triggers its heroic. Jeremy still with one, still managed to do all this with one card still in his hand. In a pretty good spot here. So we're going to use the, I don't know what that card is exactly, but it exiles target creature with power 2 or less. Its controller gains 4 life, so he's going to take out the one creature he can here. Or at least take out the guy that's going to shock him and make Jeremy beat him through the attack step. And we see an appearance by the Whip of Erebos. But it might be too little too late. We're going to go ahead and activate Monstrous on our Nemesis. It's now a 10-10. Jeremy now has 17 power of attackers. Just making sure that the Labyrinth champion was exiled there. They got that correct. Some comments in the chat about Yen's mana base, which features Zendikar lands. Dedicated stream viewers will know that those are my favorite cards. And even asking me to sell them some. Well, get in touch with me. Probably make that happen. So Jeremy attacks in. We've entered the chump block portion of the game, but there's the Abhorrent Overlord. Yen's playable promo from his black pool. It's a 6/6 flyer. He's going to make 1/1 flyers equal to the number of equal to his black devotion, which at this point is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So 5 flyers here, and he feels comfortable enough to attack in with his 2/4 Minotaur. So is Yen going to get out of this with the Whip, giving all of his creatures lifelink? He might just dig himself out of this one. I thought for sure Jeremy had it in the bag, but Overlord off the top might be enough. I'm going to gain some life here, equal to his devotion to green. Looks like that is 5, so he's up to 27. So he decides he is going to serve in with the 10-10. As well as with a 1/1. That is the 1/1 soldier token made by the Acrosin Crusader. So Yen's got a decision to make here. He can if he wants to. Just attacking instead with the die, representing another soldier token just to make it easier. Yen can trade his team. For the Nemesis if he wants to, but he doesn't. He's going to gain 2 life off of lifelink and trade one of his... Doesn't he have to sack something for that black one? Yeah, they're just catching it now. Yen has to. The Overlord says he has to sacrifice a creature during his upkeep. So we're going to activate the whip. We're going to target the Minotaur, which gives his creatures Intimidate equal to his Devotion. So he's going to serve in with everybody. Jeremy cannot block because he doesn't have any black creatures. And with lifelink, this is going to change the race math pretty considerably here. Now, Jeremy is not going to be dead, but the problem here is that eventually that Abhorrent Overlord is going to die, and then Yen is just going to get it back with the whip. The lifelink off the whip, changing the race math considerably here. Not sure if Jeremy has any of the Act of Treason type of cards in his deck, which would be very great in this spot. He just loads up a vanilla 3/3 and Centaur Courser. Still holding one card in his hand, likely a land at this point, just trying to bluff some kind of action. So Yen has no blocks here. He's just going to try and race him with the lifelink and sacking his 1/1 tokens. And I don't have it in me to try and do the math here and figure out which one's what's going to race here. So there's a +1/+0 enchantment. It does cycle, so Yen's going to draw a card. He draws another swamp. So Yen's all on board here. We got to activate the whip. Getting back the guy that will let him discard to make it bigger. So serving him for 7. 1, 2, 3, no 9, 10, 11, 12. Looks like 12 to me. Looks like 12 to me. Jeremy can block this time. Blocks with the 2/2 with reach on the 6/6. It's going to take 3, 4, 5, 6. Go down to 11. But Yen's going to go back up to 24, I think. That is correct. And then we're going to exile the 3/3 off of the whip. So Jeremy not out of this yet. This has turned into quite a grinder. Chat mentioning the play we talked about earlier, which was rebuying the Overlord with the whip. Looks like a piece of equipment here, and I'm not familiar with. I'm going to go ahead and look that one up. But we're immediately moved it on to our 10/10 Nemesis. That's the Prowler's Helm. It can't be blocked except by wall, so it's effectively unblockable. So serving in for 10 unblockable, a 3/3 and a 1, regular 1. Going to knock Yen down to 10 here. Yen deciding what he wants to do. I think you want to chump the Centaur Courser here, take the 11, go down to 13. During your upkeep, sack your Abhorrent Overlord, get it back with whip, attack in for at least 6, go back up to 16, and make 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 1/1 tokens off of your Abhorrent Overlord. And as the Overlord gets exiled at end of turn, you don't have to worry about. And there's the Titan's Strength, +3/+1 with Scry. So it's going to take Yen all the way down to 7 here. Jeremy leaving the card on top, so obviously he's drawing very live next turn. Let's see what Yen does here. No, he decides to sack. The 1/1. He has 6 power of attackers, or 9 power of attackers here, but Jeremy can chump with his 3/3. We can activate Whip. Oh, I don't know what he sees. He slammed it right into the... Oh, he's moving them over for us. So I'm not sure what that is, but I will find it out for us here. That is Disciple of Finax. It's a 1/3 that when it enters the battlefield, you can make them discard off of a reveal equal to Devotion, but somewhat irrelevant at this point as Jeremy is playing off the top. We know he left this card on top after scrying last turn, so it's got to be a gas. It's Polis Crusher, the card with the giant foot on it. So he serves in, knocks Yen down to 3. And the writing is on the wall from Yen, so he made quite a showing there. Jeremy off to the races very early, putting on a lot of pressure. Thought the game was basically over. But that is the power of the Whip of Erebos. Lifelink with a significant amount of creatures, helping Yen sustain long enough. Very interesting there if he had chosen to sack his Overlord and rebuy it back, if that would have been good enough. Question in the chat by what do I mean by chump? Chump is short for chump block, which means to basically throw one of your creatures under the bus by blocking a larger creature that is going to kill it in combat. And that's the situation that Yin was in that game. So these guys are going to quickly shuffle up and move to game 2. No sideboarding whatsoever. I don't even get a half second to catch my breath. So Yin choosing to Alright guys, I apologize. I wanted to go out and double check, but Yin won that game. Jeremy was at 5 life. Yin had the 6/6 flyer. I just misread the board. This is the problem with being 50 feet away from the action. So Yin gets there on that one off the power of the whip. And Jeremy, not to be outdone, casts his own Hammer of Perforos, the Red God's equipment, or weapon I should say. It is not an equipment, it's often something that people don't recognize. Gives all of his creatures haste, and he can pay 2 a red and tap it, sacrifice a land, and make a 3/3 golem creature, which of course will have haste. So a very aggressive card. I happen to know that in Jeremy's red pool that he opened, he came up with 2 hammers. So a little bit of redundancy there. So Yen naturally drawing all 3 cards. And he's going to play one of the new legendary creatures. Daxos of Melitus can't be blocked by creatures with power greater than 3. When he deals combat damage, exile the top card of that player's library. You gain life equal to the casting cost. And until end of turn, you could cast with any color of mana you want to.
I'm having amazing pack luck today.
Well, very good. We are joined now by Aaron Daly, who's playing in the event.
Hello, stream.
Are you, what's your record in the event?
3-1.
3-1, not too bad. And what colors are you playing?
I made 2 decks, the main one being Boros, the secondary one being Simic.
What kind of pool did you open?
Perforos, and was probably the best thing.
No, but I mean, did you open the red color?
White.
Whites.
Yeah, I tell you, I was just over there saying how stone cold nuts Daxos is.
And there's the whip. So Yen is just trying to... Yen's strategy is just to cast as many rares as possible. So Jeremy, not to be outdone, has a Pulse Crusher of his own and a hammer.
Has he been able to cast anything with anything taken with Daxos yet?
I don't know.
You know what Daxos is, right?
Yes. Yeah. Exile, gain life, whatever.
And then you can play it, right? You can play it as if you had...
I don't think this works. I am going to go make sure.
You can play it as if...
No, this thing has pro enchantments, doesn't it?
What, the Polis thing?
Yeah.
Yeah, it does.
So he can't do what he
just did. Tell him?
Yeah. I think I'm right.
See, normally I wouldn't dash out of the room like that, but since the position of the table's so far away now that I wanted to make sure the game state didn't progress so much that...
I hate doing stuff like that. That's the number one thing I think people don't recognize, is that it's very easy and often... And I caught that one myself, too. It wasn't even a
good job.
Stream thing, but... well, it's not a good job. I'm not proud of it, because people don't recognize that... Wait, is he exiling his own creature? Oh, good grief. Every weapon in the world here. This
now, that I think he took that out of
Jeremy's deck?
Yeah.
No, Jeremy doesn't have white in his deck.
It's the bow, isn't it?
No, that's the spear.
I'm sorry, I thought it was the bow. Sorry, everybody.
So there's a golem token. Made off of the hammer.
So I went and got my prize pack from JB.
So you're going 3 prize packs.
And it has Erebos on it, and I was like, hey, you got something with somebody else on it? Like maybe Elspeth? He's like, well, no, this is going to be a great pack. And I was like, okay, fine. It was Elspeth.
He nailed it.
I feel pretty good about it.
You should feel pretty good that JB steered you in the right direction.
And I told him, like, if you'd have just opened that in my face after I rejected it, I probably would have just rage quit and left.
But to be fair, would have deserved it. So Daxos is doing a lot of work here. It can only be blocked by creatures with power 3 or less, correct?
Correct.
So Jeremy,
it's like Kithkin armor.
Yeah, so Jeremy leaving up a hammer activation here to try and trade with it. Because isn't he a 2/3?
I believe he is.
It's been a lot of this today.
Yeah,
it's a 2/2, but a 3/3 because of the spear.
The thing is, he just looks like some guy with a sword. It doesn't look like he'd have this great ability to reach in your head and play your stuff.
Yeah.
Or your spell book.
Yeah. they always do these like top-down designs with a lot of flavor and a lot of interesting cards, and then there's always just like one card that doesn't make any sense. Or there's actually not more than one. There's always several cards. You're just like, how is this possible?
But I gotta tell you, between this pre-release that I played in last night and this one today, in terms of pulls, I have had so much luck, and it's got to run out sooner or later.
Well, better to have it than not.
Exactly.
So Yen is going to tap out and cast that discard a creature thing for
Erebos' Emissary.
For its bestow cost, which makes Daxos a 5/5, a 6/6 with the
essentially unblockable at this point, right?
And he has. I forgot they have lifelink now because of the whip. So Yen at the largest non-Modern Masters tournament ever held, which was the Grand Prix Charlotte last year, earlier in the year. Yen went, played, got like 110th out of like 2,500 people.
Oh, nice.
Or like 3,000 people or whatever. So Yen is very good at Magic. The point I would like to make in this situation is that when you have all rares on board, it makes it look way too easy. So Polis Crusher goes monstrous, activating its destroy target enchantment your opponent controls, gets rid of the whip, serves in, knocks Yen down to 7, choosing not to untap its creature for some reason. I assume that's what it is. There we go.
Oh.
No, he just forgot to untap his dude. So Jeremy's got a monstrous 6/6 Polis Crusher, which art I hate. 3/3 Golem made with a hand. I hate feet. I just hate them in general.
Yeah, but he's got to crush the Polis somehow.
I mean, that's fine. But
Polises won't crush themselves.
they're
Zach.
not going to. Not in this day and age, that's for sure.
Yeah. They don't make Polises like they used
Pulse
to.
is looking for a handout. So piles in for 5. Let's go ahead and get our exile on, or 6, I should say. Revealing Glare, Revealing Forest, which you can cast, right? It says play, right? Or
What?
you may cast that card, yeah. So Jeremy at 4. He currently. Don't know what's going on.
I'm curious as to why he hasn't activated the spear yet. Has he always been tapped out, or does he not? He has the mana to do it.
The spear.
The spear kills creatures that have dealt damage to you this turn.
Okay. I think he's been tapped out.
Okay.
Because the last time he had a monster, he had to bestow his guy. And there is the one where he can make the Jeremy discard, right? Equal to his
Devotion to Black.
Reveal equal to his Devotion to Black. Discard a card. Uh-oh.
He revealed too many.
He revealed the GD Poor Ring again. And,
his Devotion to Black is only, what, 2? Oh, they're Erebos' Emissary. So, yeah,
Yes.
that was right.
Yep, so he nugs the, what was that, Titan's Might? +3/+1, which probably would have been good enough, right? So what can we do here? We can make a land into a golem. It has haste. Do we have spear activation up? Does it cost 3 or 4?
It costs Glorious Anthem mana.
To activate?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So he can activate it. But
yeah, but it doesn't matter. You have to.
Right.
It has to kill you first, right? So he can attack in here, but he's only going to get 6 damage through, right?
Did he have enough for a hammer activation maybe before the last turn ended to maybe put up?
And that is the. That one's the one that triggers heroic. It shocks something, but it has haste now because of the hammer, and this should be good enough, right? Because he's going to block the Polis Crusher and a golem, but he's going to take. Or he's going to block the Polis Crusher, but he's going to take 7, right? 1, 2, 3, 4.
He might have.
What is this? Chicksy.
It's white, whatever it is. It's God's Willing. Gives it protection from a color, and then he gets to scry 1. I believe, anyway.
But does the Polis Crusher have trample?
I don't remember. I mean, if it's crushing,
Yes,
yeah, it does.
it has trample. So it should be good enough there, right? Because he's an 8/8. All you have to do is assign it, even if it's protection, you just have to assign it lethal damage, and then you can trample over.
And I have to add, for limited in this format, or this guy, a Crow and Hoplite, he has been doing so much work for me today.
It's a Boros. It's a 1/2 for the Boros colors. It's a 2-drop. When it attacks, it gets +X/+0 until end of turn, equal to the number of attacking creatures you control.
Stone cold.
Well, there is in the, like you said, the very aggressive Boros deck. It seems like there are like two kinds of decks in this limited format. One is this very aggressive Boros deck that lands 1-drops, has a lot of heroic triggers, makes a lot of dudes aggressively, attacks with Titan's Might, attacks with, whatever it can get in, Magma Jets, Lightning Strike to finish things off, Hammer if you got it.
I've got a Perforos in there.
Perforos also great, but obviously at rare, not something you're leaning on.
Sure.
Then every other deck is a deck that's trying to get to 7 mana to bestow a creature. But I mean, it seems there's like one very aggressive deck, and then there seems to be like a...
I think people are being a little short-sighted with their bestow. Like, if you've got a stable board, go ahead and wait, sure. But if you need a creature on the board, especially the white promo, just go ahead and throw them out there.
It's like Mizium Mortars. Everybody wants to overload it, but sometimes you just need to nug a guy for 4.
Exactly.
Well, I did want to make sure here, because in Game 1 I thought Jeremy had won, and then Yen had won. And I didn't figure it out until, because I was like, Yen choosing to draw here, which I guess isn't limited to something you occasionally do, because the resources are important. No, he had just won, and I just didn't understand, because I'm bad at Magic.
Right.
So these guys go into the Decider. The good news about this is that we're not going to have much time to kill, because just over 9 minutes left in the round.
I tell you, man, Xenagos... His existence kind of makes me mad, only because right after Domri, you get another Gruul Planeswalker you can just curve right
You know why I don't like Xenagos? Because it just seems dumb. Like, I don't mind the abilities. I'm not talking about the card itself. I'm just talking complete thematics-wise, just like Vorthos stuff. I think it's just a dumb Planeswalker.
I disagree. I like that it's a satyr. I like that it's non-human.
That's fine. I just hate the name, and it just doesn't... Well, I guess it makes sense going into Theros, but... I don't know. I was just not thrilled. I like the other one better. I like it when they either come up with like one that seems to make sense, or like this Ashiok one that's just like clearly
so cool,
so weird. Like people were like, why is Tameo in this like horror trope set? Well, that's because Planeswalkers aren't
go wherever they want.
That's why it's cool to have a Asian socks with sandal lady.
Well, but the reason first of all, I think that's I was about to say, in terms of Vorthos, my favorite Planeswalker absolutely is Tameo. It's nice to know that they haven't forgotten about Kamigawa, because I know some people like the flavor, especially, even if we never go back.
Yeah, there were 4 people that actually like the flavor of Kamigawa.
That's a bull.
You're right, 5 people.
Well, the flavor, I think, is still much more popular than the set itself. And then, I was going somewhere, and then you decided to crap wise. Oh, but Ashiok, so I guess zombies can be Planeswalkers now? That's cool.
So you can't,
Oh, but yeah, Tameo, she was the Moon Sage, right? So she researches the effects that moons can have on things, and it seemed to be doing things to werewolves, and that's why she was there. But the fact, Planeswalkers can go... Actually, no, that's what it said in like some article from Wizards.
I know, but it's a stretch from them, I think.
Oh, alright. But it's still a Planeswalker that can go wherever it wants. It's kind of what they do.
Alright, so the chat is blowing up because apparently the way the card reads, you can't play lands off of Daxos, you can only cast spells. So
was he playing lands off Daxos?
Yes, it was also irrelevant, but it is a valid point that they're making.
I
and
think
if
Yen knows that.
No, because he played lands.
I thought you just said he didn't.
Wait, whatever I said, or he was playing lands that turn incorrectly. So we will, if Daxos makes an appearance, I will send my trusty field reporter Aaron to let him know that you can't play lands off of it.
No problem, sir. Anything for you.
Read all about it.
Extra. You can't play lands with Daxos Melodis, see? This message brought to you by the fine folks at Coca-Cola. Now with less cocoa.
Yeah. Do you remember the old Dr. Pepper advertising campaign where it's like, drink it at 10 and at 4 for health? Do you remember that?
No.
You have like a warm Dr. Pepper. Have you ever been to Roanoke?
No.
There's an interesting sign on Roanoke. It's old, like historic, like billboard that's on top of a building, and it's a Dr. Pepper clock, and it has like the 2 times when you're supposed to drink
That's
Dr.
awesome.
Pepper. You're supposed to drink it warm too. That was a thing too.
No, can't do it.
Well, I'm not saying I'm on board with it. I'm just telling you.
I know that. I'm expressing my
This
distaste.
Diet Pepsi I've been nursing is lukewarm, and it's all I can stand to choke it down. I wanted to go out there and get a delicious snack treat from the thing, but I forgot that both Evan and JB are playing in this event. Evan has opened a Thoughtseize and a Foil Thassa, so he's the big winner. I have never been that guy.
I have been today and yesterday, man. That never happens to me either. And it's all stuff I want to use in Standard. All of it. Oh, that, and I'm also resisting the urge until next week to buy Grand Theft Auto 5.
All
is
right.
There a Satyr Hedonist on the board, by the way?
No, yes, that is a Satyr Hedonist, and there is It's Hammer time as Jeremy plays his Hammer of Perforos. Do you know what the white creature is that Yin has?
That is
here?
a Wingsteed Rider.
And
it is a 2/2 and heroic for a +1/+1 counter.
Okay, so you can grow it.
2/2 flyer, did I say?
You did.
It's kind of obvious with the name, but...
And off camera, I do see the Chuck Taylors of Scotty Wrights. How weird is it that I know whose shoes those are?
Kind of weird, actually.
Well, I'm kind of weird. I think it's also Alec Myers beside him, but I can't be confirmed for that.
Ooh, weapon fight.
So it's hammer on spear action. But it looks like Jeremy is stuck on 3 lands here, which is a pretty considerable drawback, obviously.
God, that...
Question in the chat if I have contact info that's not Facebook. I do. You can either send me a direct message here on Twitch, or you can email me at zacksellsmagic@gmail.com.
Also, I'll go ahead and give the address to his house if you want to write him letters or stock him directly. So stay tuned for that.
That's round 5. Round 5 is when I give out my personal bank account information. So we're putting, is that the red Ordeal of Perforos, onto our Satyr? What does the red Ordeal do you know?
When it gets 3 counters, you sack it for 3 damage to a creature or a player, I believe.
You know what? The Ordeal of Heliod is actually fairly relevant. We saw it in round 2. Daniel Payne put it on a creature, and it just changes the race mass so dramatically. If you can...
Yeah.
And he got to a situation where he was triggering it every turn, because he puts it on a giant creature.
Well, and the other good thing about it is if your creature already has counters, you just play it and just gain 10 life. If you should ever need to do that. I think the black one is the only one that I don't really like all that much, but even then, it's still half decent and limited in the right deck.
There is the, isn't that the 2/2 Reach Bestow guy?
Leaf Crown?
Something. It is just played as a dude here, and Heliod's spear is going to go ahead and blow up the Satyr. In response, you could sack it, make a golem. That seems awful, but you could do it. I'm just outlining the options here.
Random cut? Is that like a joke?
Oh, I don't know. No, it's not.
I gotta say, I do like this set a lot. I'm assuming that creature just got offed by the spear. Yeah.
It did, in fact. So, unfortunately, it looks like this game is going to be decided by Jeremy's inability to draw a 4th land. Yin, again, trolling me with the stupid Cup Island, because he knows I hate it.
I think it's more of a bowl.
That's fine. You call it what you want. Still the worst card ever printed. You know, one of the best cards ever printed? You obviously can't see this on the camera, but look at a little bear cub.
Aww.
There's a mom right there.
Bear cub when you're a little boy.
My wife owns like 10 Magic cards. One of them is Bear Cub, because it is adorable.
So cute, it's a little bug.
Aww. I love bugs.
Tell you, animals, that stupid voice everyone just heard is the voice I do for cute and cuddly animals.
It is a common flaw to talk to children and dogs like that.
Phalanx leader. That guy has been doing work for me all day.
And what does that gentleman do?
He is a 1/1 for 2 white, and his heroic is to put a 1/1 counter on every creature you control.
Oh, that's very good.
He's very good.
Is he a rare?
He is an uncommon.
Uncommon. And then we play the Minotaur that has haste and then gives things intimidate based on your devotion to black. So he's going to go ahead and serve in here with the hasty Minotaur and the.
I gotta say, Jeremy's probably out of this unless he gets another land. I mean,
I think he was. I don't even know at this point if another land is relevant.
Well, Polis Crusher's at 4, right? But even then, he has the
spear active.
Such presence.
Spear active is pretty tough for Jeremy to deal with at this point.
Well, it has protection from enchantments.
Oh, that is a good point. I pointed that out to them last game, and then forgot about it myself in the meantime.
Well, he never killed the Polis Crusher with the spear, did he? He never tried to.
No, it was...
It also has pro white, I believe.
No, it's just trample pro enchantments.
Okay. And I'm so sorry.
And I forgot that everything is an enchantment here. We're going to see Sip of Hemlock is going to kill the only blocker Jeremy has. Going to force him to make something with the hammer, I think.
That is...
Nope. We've got destroy target creature with flying effect, right?
Yeah, deals 7 to target creature with flying.
7. 1, 2, 3, 4.
Because if you plummet it, you can use plummet for less mana.
And that's it. So unfortunately, this one decided by mana struggles. So Jeremy drops to 2 and 2. Yin goes up to 3-1. At the start of this round, we did have 5 undefeated players. 2 of them obviously pairing off, and then Justin Carpenter got paired down. So people we've already seen on camera: Michael Taylor, undefeated; Daniel Payne, undefeated; and then Justin Carpenter, if he wins, he'll be undefeated as well too. So that is time of the round, guys. I'm going to step out briefly, trying to find myself some kind of snack treat, as I'm about to lose my mind due to lack of edible sustenance.
You don't have diabetes, do you?
And I do not have diabetes, but I do have hunger pangs. So
thanks for saying pangs and not pains.
Because that's incorrect. And we know how you like to rule your semantics.
Well,
and whoa. Don't want to get... That's a callback to one of our favorite jokes, which is that semantics, no need to get personal, guys.
Well, the part of the reason I do that, and someone put up a good meme, and it put my thoughts perfectly, and it was, today's mistakes and misusages are going to be tomorrow's common usage. Mm-hmm. And that makes me sad.
You know one that bothers me? One foul swoop.
It's fell swoop.
Yeah.
People say, I've never heard that. Foul swoop?
Yeah, that's very common.
One of my favorites is for all intensive purposes. Alright, I'm going to entertain America the stream for a while.